week's Trinidad Bhojpuri words. In this episode, we recap the words RAASEE, MAANDAR, MASJID JAAI ke dua karo, JUMMAA, and USAT.
So this is the sari. Right, they're doing it like this, right? I'm mashing it up so.
Hi, I'm Karen Das.
And I'm Vinay Harrichan from the Cutlass magazine.
Nice to see you again, Vinay. We had a fun week. I think everyone kept up with the words, and even if they didn't get the specific meaning of the words, they understood the context the words are really meant for. So let's get started. A good example was RAASEE. RAASEE. So based on comments, we realized that many are familiar, or the common use of the word RAASEE was RAASEE Naam or RAASEE name. So most of comments read a sacred name that is given at the time of birth. But what exactly is RAASEE, and how did we come to RAASEE in Trinidad Bhojpuri?
Yes, so some people might be familiar with the Hindi equivalent, which is Rashi. And there's actually a famous movie with Priyanka Chopra called What's Your Rashi, a Bollywood movie. And so as we know from standard Hindi to Bhojpuri, and with Trinidad Bhojpuri, that aspiration sometimes gets lost. So instead of Rashi, you get RAASEE. And as you mentioned, in context, we know it as a RAASEE ke naam, RAASEE name. And so the most kind of equivalent English meaning would be a zodiac sign. So RAASEE is your zodiac sign, and it's based on the planet you're born, or as they would say, pundits would say, the guna, the planet you're born on. And so based on that astrological reading, that zodiac sign, that reading, that patra reading, then gives you your name. So that's why it becomes a RAASEE Naam or RAASEE ke Naam, because it's based on your RAASEE, it's based on your zodiac sign. So the pundit reads that and sees, what planet you're born, the time you're born, all of that. They'll tell you, oh, well, your name should start with this letter, this sound of the Hindustani alphabet, or they'll just give you your name. So that's where the origin stems from.
There you go. So RAASEE. And this took us to another Trinidad Bhojpuri word, MAANDAR, not to be confused with mandap or mandir, but mandap sounds a lot like mandar. And I think it was you said that sometimes you'd hear mandar, but some were able to identify its meaning.
Yes, so the MAANDAR is the bass drum, the large cylindrical drum that you'll see in Tassa. And the reason why this is significant is because a lot of us are familiar with that type of drum, right? And we know it being associated with the drum puja, as they call it, which is when you have the start of the wedding, when the ladies go and they TK the drum with the hardi and the sendur and all of that, and put the leaves and do their prayers. So that drum, that large cylindrical bass drum, that's the mandar. And some people might know it as mandara, because we know that, with Hindustani, the words sometimes elongate, but it seems like the more common variant in Trinidad Bhojpuri is mandar. And I've also seen it, I remember reading a document that Prem Singh had published about weddings, and they had that mandar drum in there as well. So that's how I also knew that it wasn't just one I had heard around from the older people and some people in my family. It had been, established within a pamphlet that was published in Trinidad. And so similar to how we had done Katara before as the tray with, you'd have on top of your head for the Matikor. I thought, this is something everybody would know, and it's nice to give a Hindustani word to that.
Yeah, and we also make reference to, again, Rukmini Hola's People's publication, which is Vivaha Geet, and in here she explains the Mandar Puja. So well done. And we move on to our Trinidad Bhojpuri phrase. And with last week being the final week of the month of Ramadan, we thought it would be appropriate to go with Masjid Jai Ke Dua Karo. And you should know Dua Karo because we covered that just recently.
Yeah, so dua karo is to say a prayer, to make a prayer. And so masjid jai ke means after you go to the masjid, after you go to the mosque, or having gone to the mosque, to say a prayer. And obviously we thought that this would be, fitting, considered Eid was last week and a lot of people were observing. So masjid jai ke dua karo, or mosque jai ke dua karo is just, say a prayer having gone to the mosque or the masjid.
And we followed up nicely with another Bhojpuri word, / Urdu, which is Jumma. Jumma. Okay, so many were able to make the connection between Jumma and the Muslim community. And yes, Jumma is auspicious. In fact, it is the most auspicious day of the week for the Muslim community.
Yes, and that just goes to show how much context sometimes plays a role in our understanding of the language. And so a lot of people were commenting that, Jummah is the Friday prayer in Islam. However, Jummah by itself only means Friday. If you're referring to the prayer, you'll know it as namaz or namaj, and that's the prayer aspect. So namaj is the Hindustani word for prayer there. However, Jummah is just another word for Friday. And you might be able to reference it. I saw some people noticing it in the comments that Amitabh Bachchan song, Jummah, Jummah De De, there's a lyric in that says, Aaj Jummah Hai, which means today is Friday.
Jummah, Jummah De De.
There you go. So Jummah is simply Friday. And if you you probably would have heard Jumeirah, which would be Urdu for Thursday. So, yeah, that's really good. Jummah. Oh, and here's a trip down memory lane for some of you in the early days of 103.1, for example. We carried a broadcast of Jummah Khutbah. So khutbah would be the sermon that is given on the Friday. So another word for us to take note of. But well done.
We have plenty, but today is hard. She represents the Punjab.
Well done. And we had our food-related word, which was USAT.
Yeah, so USAT can mean anything from, bland to tasteless to non-spicy food, plain food, but typically it has that connotation of food that isn't spicy or food that is bland. And some people I noticed are saying sada. For us, typically, contextually, sada would mean something that, you don't cook with onion or garlic or salt and stuff like that. Whereas usat typically is more about the taste of something, whereas sada might be more having to do with how you prepare it. And there's other words like bur or basil or basila, which we've done before, and that more has to do with a sourness or staleness or, rotting food. This is just more, lacking taste, lacking spice.
Usat. So that was another fun word for us, and that wrapped up another week of Trinidad Bhojpuri words and phrase. And we've already started rolling out some new words for you. So keep up with us. Trinidad Bhojpuri on Facebook, all social media platforms, or as many as possible. So, Vinay, can you just remind us how folks can get in touch with you?
Yes, you can follow me at Cutlass Magazine on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or you can, send me an email, cutlasspodcast@gmail.com.
There you go. So thank you once again for participating and for sharing your feedback. We look forward to connecting with you next week.